bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey A.
God bless football, Stugotz.
Yep, it was a weekend. One of my favorite things since we started doing God Bless Football nearly 3 years ago, I guess. One of my favorite things is the relationship with Billy and Chris Sims, and the text that Billy will send Chris Sims over the weekend saying that he was right and Chris was wrong.
I did no such thing.
That is what you did, though.
Come
that
on,
is what you did.
Fuentes, you were not on this text chain.
I was not.
He didn't answer it for a long time, but let me find it.
That was great.
This is what
Well, he'll tell you he's busy on Sundays.
Yeah, no, he's busy allegedly. Yeah. This is not if he's right. If he's right, he's available right away. He'll tell you. This is what I texted him, Fuentes, an audience. I go, no Tyreek, and Waddle has taken over. Maybe it was to making Tyreek good look good all along.
And then you heard from two disgruntled Jet fans.
Yeah.
And then Chris Sims just laughed at Billy's text.
I didn't factor that into the equation.
What, us?
Sports are funny, huh? How Fuentes and I experienced that game completely differently than you and Mikey did, Stugotz.
I know. I went to the game. I went to a football game.
Why?
I have no idea. And let me tell you, it's worse in person than it is on TV.
Where'd you sit? You probably had nice seats, though.
We did have good seats.
Did you sit on the hot side, like in the sun?
No, that's the visitor side. We sat on the home side because of the shade.
You were cheering for the visiting team. It's not crazy to think that you were in the visitor side.
He's absolutely right, though. I would never sit on that side.
No, I know, but I don't know if you were like, I want to sit on the Jets side and then got the tickets and didn't think about it.
Real quick. So, Stugotz, you went to possibly one of the worst games your favorite team has ever performed, at least in the last decade.
Yes.
Do me a favor. Don't go again.
Why?
Don't go again.
I jinxed them. It's my fault, huh?
Listen, you didn't help.
They don't need my help losing.
You didn't help.
They don't need my help. They don't need my help losing and being awful. They don't. They certainly don't. Mike, I haven't gone to any games the last decade, and they've been dreadful. So what are you talking about?
They're 30-0 is different.
Yeah.
Against the Dolphins, 30-0 is different.
The Dolphins were so impressive. The Jets, it's listen, the misery of watching them in person when you can't go to another game, it's the worst. You're stuck with the Dolphins. You're stuck watching the Dolphins and Jets, and you can't switch channels. And so that part was made it a misery for me. So I just like the viewing experience from home. The whole experience from home is just a lot better. But the Dolphins, man, so impressive because no Tyreek Hill. They're missing guys on the offensive line. The offense looked great yesterday. Jalen Waddle looked great yesterday. And here's, Billy, why I think the Dolphins are so good. You know they're going to Jalen Waddle. The second Tyreek Hill, it's found that he's not playing. They're going to Waddle. You know he's going to be an emphasis on offense, and the Jets knew it, and they still couldn't stop it. He was great, Waddle.
Well, offensively, the Jets couldn't do anything either.
Yeah, they're bad.
Well, I mean, Zach Wilson had no time to do anything, and he was getting pummeled all day. He ends up leaving the game.
Wasn't his fault.
He's in concussion protocol now. Yeah, like, what is he supposed to do?
I don't know.
Do you guys so Wednesday's the deadline for them to activate Aaron, and you were also eliminated from the playoffs yesterday. Do you want Aaron to play?
That's 13 straight years, by the way.
Yeah. Do you want Aaron to play?
No, I don't.
You don't want them to activate him?
Yeah, I mean, I could be alone here, but I do not want the Jets to activate Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers until next season. There's no point. Mikey A, how do you feel about that?
I'm with you. It would have been different if the offensive line was playing halfway decent, but at this point, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope.
Well, there's no hope. You know that the season's over already, so.
Yeah, but I don't want to go into this offseason talking about, did you see how good they looked with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Because they're coming. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway, but don't give me hope.
Yeah. I have a conundrum that I'd like to share with all of you, and I think that I'm in the right, but it's a temptation that I have fought off and I have not acted on.
Okay.
So Raheem Mostert has a relationship with you, Stugotz. He's been on the show a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Oh, I never asked you. He invited you out on a Friday night to go have drinks with him. Did you ever do that?
The answer.
Yeah, I didn't go.
Yeah. So he invited you to do that. We assumed that wasn't going to happen. We told him as much.
I want to tell the real story, but I won't.
Okay. He
You
invited.
didn't show up. That's the real story.
Yeah, like what else is there? You didn't show up. You just didn't go. Yeah.
I
the
do,
real story.
I do not believe for a second that you showed up to hang out with Raheem Mostert and he left you hanging. I just don't
may
believe
have showed
that.
up at that bar, and he may not have been there. I mean, that's.
Well, we're gonna have to get to the bottom of this.
We'll try to have him on this week.
He's gonna have to come on, and we're gonna have to have this conversation.
He had 2 more touchdowns yesterday. Yes,
He had 2 more touchdowns yesterday. He, I believe, has more touchdowns this season than he's had in his entire career
Yes,
combined
he
up
He
until
broke the
this
Dolphins'
season.
single season record for touchdowns. Mark Clayton's record yesterday. That's a big time accomplishment and a record I thought would never be broken.
They knew it too. They knew he was close.
They were trying to get it.
They were
for
feeding
him.
it to him.
Yes. Yeah, no doubt.
So
I've
here-
never seen Mike McDaniel give a running back the ball 3 times in a row in the goal line.
Correct.
Never.
Same play.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my conundrum. Because of this show, because of him coming on, because of him scheduling, I have his number.
Yeah.
And I was tempted to text him
Right.
a congratulatory text. Hey, man, so happy for you.
You should
blah,
have.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I didn't because he doesn't know who I am.
Yes, he
Right?
does.
So, like, how do I then explain who this is? It's like, oh, this is Billy from, because I don't even know if he knows that the show he's on is called God Bless Football.
He does.
So then if I say, oh, it's Billy from God Bless Football, he'll be like, who? What? And then it's like a whole awkward thing. So I didn't do it.
You should have done it.
You got scared.
Yeah.
You got scared.
100% I got scared. And also I feel like that's not what I have his number for. You know what I mean? So then he's like, why is this guy bothering me? Why is he texting me?
Billy, the easy answer on how to get out of this is you just throw some little detail in the text that makes it clear who you are. Like, oh, I was just talking to Stugotz and I told him you were going to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you
Yes.
did it. Congratulations, Billy from the God.
Or I was looking at the golf clubs in my room that I never use that you always make fun of me
Exactly.
for, and I thought of you. Congratulations.
Yeah, but here's the other part about it. Even if he did in some world know who I was when I sent that text, why would he want to hear from me? You know what I mean? Like that's the second part about this.
I sent them a text.
Did you?
Congratulations on breaking the record.
Did you really?
Yeah,
or are
I
you
did.
just saying that?
Here.
Did he get back to you?
No.
Okay, well.
No.
Which is what would have happened to you. He would just wouldn't
It
have
would
answered.
have.
you.
probably
Yeah.
still waiting at the bar.
He'll get back to me. I mean, it's planting the seeds to get him on this week. That's all I was. I didn't ask him to come on this
See,
week.
but
I
that's
will
the
now.
thing is I wouldn't ask him. Because I'm bad at that. Is like I could have like this conversation with him and just be like, all right, talk to you never again.
I
Goodbye.
texted him 2 more. Congratulations, my friend. You broke the record. You love doing it against the Jets. I was there with my family watching you in person.
You were not there watching him in person. That's the unnecessary lie. You make it seem like you went there to see him. You went there to root against him. You wanted him to fail yesterday.
Well, I had the Dolphins. I did. I bet the Dolphins. So it was a win-win for me. The classic win-win. What else stood out for you yesterday in the NFL? By the way, I have a top five quarterbacks, okay, who were not their team starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. I have that for us. Austin Ekeler is going to join us in this episode. Good time to get Austin, huh?
A Monday, Austin.
Wow.
A Monday, Austin Ekeler.
Should we sit on it until Friday?
Well, no. I think we gotta air that today, right?
100%. He's going to be part of this episode coming up today.
I just teased it as such that he'd be part of this episode. What stood out for you yesterday?
Wait, hold on.
Billy?
Fuentes wanted to say something.
Okay.
He had 19 touchdowns his entire career until this year.
Yeah.
And now he has 20.
He has
Right.
more touchdowns.
He has
this
more
season
touchdowns this
his
year than the
entire
first
career.
8 years of his career.
And
He
Billy,
needs to hold out.
And the Jets have 16 touchdowns this year. He has 20.
wait, you want him to hold out right now?
Yeah, he needs to hold out right
Well,
now.
tell him that when he comes on. Why don't you text him that?
I thought I told him the last time, didn't I?
You should text him, congratulations, now hold out.
I'm always telling people to hold out. Me, myself, I keep doing the show for free, but that's another thing. What?
What? What happened?
Anyway,
What? Huh? Free?
Free.
are the Cowboys good?
I have no idea. Are the Bills good?
The Bills are good.
Yeah, the Bills. Oh, now they're good. The
Bills are good.
This is the beauty of the NFL. Last week, the Cowboys were the best team in the NFL. This week, they're not. And this week, no one wants to face the Bills. I mean, that's it.
Don't you have a segment about somebody who's the MVP in Super Bowl every week?
Yeah.
That we're doing?
He
Yeah.
doesn't have that today.
Yeah, I don't have it today,
No,
but I
you don't
can
have
come
that
up with
today?
it quickly if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure you can.
It depends on what happens with the Eagles tonight. If the Eagles win, they might be in the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Mike. I have to let the week play out.
Yeah, you know?
Why are the Cowboys so bad on the road?
I don't know.
They're a totally different team.
Yeah, I think they had like one loss under 500 on the road, but they're undefeated at home.
They are 7-0 at home. They're 3-4 on the road. They score 39.9 points per game at home, 21.7 points per game on the road. They turn the ball over more on the road. They have a +10 at home, a -1 on the road. They allow more points on the road. They allow less at home. They're a totally different team when they're out of Dallas.
I think the Browns are the same way. Like, that defense is historically great at home, and on the road, it's not that good. And the Browns had a big victory yesterday.
Yeah, but no one thinks that the Browns are one of the best teams in the league when they think that about the Cowboys.
You're absolutely right. The Cowboys are considered one of the elite teams in the NFL. The Browns are not. People fear the Browns. People feel like the Browns could win a playoff game or two, perhaps. But the Cowboys have different expectations, so you're right there.
Well,
I can't explain why they're a better team at home other than the best explanation I could offer you is they're playing in a dome. It's a controlled environment. They're at home. It's kind of like the Dolphins, you know? The Dolphins' offense clicks at home. It doesn't so much on the road. I mean, that's the best I can come up with right now. But you're right, Billy.
4 teams have clinched right now a playoff spot. Yesterday, 4 teams clinched. The Ravens, the 49ers, the Eagles, the Cowboys are one of them.
Yes.
Of those 4 teams, which is the team that you trust the least?
Cowboys.
That's a great question.
Talking out loud, like,
The Ravens?
I don't even know about the Ravens.
What are you talking about?
I don't trust the Ravens.
They
I was
dominated
going to say
yesterday.
the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles are iffy too. Yeah,
Talk about, you trust the Ravens to make it to the Super Bowl?
more than the Cowboys. They have an easier road, I feel.
The Ravens are going to have to get past some form of Tua, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
I'm totally out on the Chiefs.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. They don't look good at all. Kadarius Toney is unplayable. Like I'm totally out on the Chiefs. Like,
It was not an impressive win at New England.
not at
yesterday.
all. And
No.
they were struggling in the beginning, and then now Travis Kelce has an arm thing.
Yeah.
I'm just not excited for them at all.
Which team do you?
Did you see Kadarius Toney literally give the ball to the Patriots?
Yes.
He literally batted it to them.
And
Yeah.
then they were
Like, is he bad at football?
He's unplayable.
Is he a really good athlete who's just bad at football? Because I think you could be that.
Yeah, but it's bad when you're a football player because you should be good at football.
Yeah.
Put that on the poll,
It's
please,
unfortunate.
Juju. Is Kadarius Toney a good athlete who's bad at football?
Did you see? Did you see them after the game, like highlighting Travis Kelce with his arm around Darius Toney? Like, wow, what a good teammate he is. Talking
Right.
him
What a
up.
great team.
He's all you got.
You
You
should
got
date Taylor Swift.
he's all he's got. He's got to make him feel like something.
Man, Travis had like a crazy flop in the end zone. Did
did.
you
such
see
a
that?
bad flop.
Barely
Yeah.
got touched, throws himself
Yeah.
on the ground.
He had some drops too, though.
Oh,
Use that
didn't.
arm to catch the ball instead of putting it around Kadarius Toney's shoulder.
The only person who looked good yesterday was Rashee Rice.
he's good.
Rashee Rice is a receiver.
He is good.
He's
But
good.
everybody else stinks.
Yeah.
And James Cook is good. Huh?
What are you doing?
Fake out.
What are you doing? He got us. I wanted him. We're back.
You thought an and we're back was coming.
James Cook is good. Yes.
But like really good.
He's really good. Yes.
What have they been doing with him all season?
Not using him correctly.
Do you want to play a game called If the Season Ended Today?
Love that
Oh,
game.
God,
Sounds like a great
it's my
game.
favorite game of all time.
Because I have
Yeah.
the playoff matchups if the season ended today.
Do you really?
I do.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
So you're going to ask us what we think of these games if the season ended today and the playoffs started this weekend, let's
Yeah,
say.
these would be the
Okay.
matchups that we would be seeing this weekend.
Are we picking winners?
Yeah, you're going to
Okay.
pick winners.
Oh,
duh.
this is amazing. This is amazing. I've wanted to do this segment my entire life.
I've done it week one.
How did we feel about
Yes.
Saturday football? Did we like Saturday
Oh,
football?
I love Saturday
Oh,
football.
loved it.
Yeah, loved it.
I like that
Loved
it's
it.
there for me. I don't know that I necessarily loved the games, but I like that it exists. The first game was great.
The Bengals game.
The Bengals and Vikings game was great.
Yes.
The other games, the Lions are back though.
The Lions are back. The
And,
NFL is funny, man.
Maybe we don't have to watch out for the Broncos after all.
Well, I mean, they're still in the mix, though.
The Chiefs better watch out for the Broncos.
I'm with you. This would have been a big week for the Broncos.
If
'cause
they
the
would've
Chiefs-
won,
Yeah.
Yeah. You had the good game, 27-24, Bengals over the Vikings.
Jake Browning is good.
He's
like,
good.
Jake Browning
Yes.
is good,
Yes.
and Joe Burrow needs to watch out. And Peter King laughed us off when we said that, but he really needs to watch out. And he really needs to stop letting the Browning family in that booth.
Well, I think that
In the
Peter
suite.
King was laughing you off because Joe Burrow's the quarterback there. They gave him a big contract, and
for
he's
now.
not going anywhere.
For now.
But I was thinking about Peter King because he told us about that discussion he had with Mike McDaniel last week. Spent 20 minutes in a car. It was weird, right? But he told us that Mike McDaniel is not really watching film on the other team. He only watches his team and tells his team, if you do what I tell you to do, If you execute it the way I tell you to execute it, it's unstoppable.
I didn't love that.
Well, I know, but you saw it yesterday when Waddle gets slotted into that Tariq Hill spot, and everyone knows it's coming, and the Jets have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they still couldn't stop it.
I didn't love that. Watch film of the other team.
Yeah, how about you do both?
Exactly
really,
right.
Really good.
Yeah, or assign someone that task. Like, let's not just decide we're not going to watch the other team every week. That seems crazy.
That pass from Tua to Jalen Waddle.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
No, that was nice.
It was so nice.
I was surprised that the Dolphins had the A team yesterday of Nance and Romo.
Why?
I don't know. It was just a
They're
treat.
one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, but the Bills-Cowboys was on Fox because the Cowboys are an NFC team, so.
It's just a treat. It was a pleasant surprise for me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were surprised.
Kind of done with Romo, though.
You're done with Romo?
Yeah, I'm kind of over it.
Why?
Really?
Why?
He was good when he was breaking down plays and stuff. Now it's just a lot of like speculation that's not really great. And
Ooh, how about this? The old, now follow me down this path.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Brady's coming in. He's going to be the Fox one team, or one team, A team, whatever.
We think, yes.
No, we know. He's not getting paid $300 million to not be on the big game.
yeah, to be there
every
with
week.
Spiro Ditas or whoever.
Yeah, exactly right. I think Greg Olson has a clause,
Spiro.
right? Like, what if Greg Olson bounces and goes and replaces Romo at CBS?
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Even
Greg-
though Romo has a big deal too.
Now, you know Greg Olson.
So maybe they move Romo to Nickelodeon.
You know-
that would be electric.
You know Olson's been very vocal about wanting that Carolina Panthers job. So
That's a terrible move by him. That is, God, no, don't do that.
Call Jeff Saturday. Let me know how that works
Stay
out.
in the booth. Jeez, why would you want that? Did you see yesterday's game looked miserable
Panthers
in the
won.
rain?
they got to win. They're in the mix.
I love that, Mike. Yeah, they won. Yeah,
2-12. What are you talking about?
They won.
yeah, they won. All right. Yeah,
They don't.
we
have
all
a-
lost. They won.
They're gonna have the number one pick, except they traded it away, so they're not gonna have the number
to
one
the
pick.
Bears, right?
Yeah, God, what a misery that
The
game
Bears
looked like.
have had 3 or 4 games this year where they have an 85% win probability, and they've lost all those games. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Did you see what tickets were going for in that Panthers game?
No.
At one
$8.
point, it was 45 cents
Jesus.
to go to the game.
I wish
the
Dolphins
fees
Jets
were
were going for
probably
that
20
much.
times that.
I spent an arm and a leg.
That was just on parking.
Who'd you go with?
I went with my wife and my children.
Okay, I was gonna make
Yes.
sure your daughter was there. That you told
Both
Quincy
daughters were
Williams,
there.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that like she said. Ah.
No, I played
She
it
didn't
for
say any of that.
I played I played it, that laughter right there. And me pausing was Billy exposing me for yet another lie.
Everybody knew as soon as you said it that wasn't true.
Well, Rachel even said when I played it for Dad, that's cool, but I never said a thing.
Yeah.
But it's cool. But
I
it's
mean,
cool.
she got the mention.
Right. She did get the mention. She also got blown out.
If the season ended today,
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm so ready.
we
for
don't have
this.
to do it all right now. We
I
can
want-
just sprinkle them in. Like last week, remember we had segments that were just sprinkled in last week?
Well, we're gonna evaluate every game. So
Wait, hold on,
let's do it.
Fuentes. Do you have a top 5 today?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, man. We still have the last segment to get to.
Yeah,
the
let's
other
bring it up the
stuff.
rear.
Okay, I have a top 5. You have a top 5, and we have Billy's big board bets as well.
Can we play a game really quick? Also, another game because we just touched on it, and it's called "This Game Is Not Worth Talking About," and we can just cross it off the list of games that have to be discussed today.
100%.
Did you make this for Falcons Panthers?
Falcons Panthers were on my list of this game doesn't have to be talked about. I have notes on it, but it's also this game doesn't have to be talked about.
Okay.
Because every week I go in there and I've talked to Fuentes about this. I'm like, man, I have little things on every single game. And he's
Right.
like, but there's some games we just don't need to talk about. And he's 100% right. And the Falcons and Panthers are a game that we don't need to talk about.
The Falcons were in first place, but I understand. You're right. I mean, they lost, and there's no reason to talk about it other than to make the joke that the Carolina Panthers are in the mix. Okay, let's move on.
If we didn't have Jets fans here, Dolphins Jets is probably a game we don't need to talk about.
Yep, that's fair.
Just because it's a blowout. Yeah.
That's fair.
Colts Steelers, don't need to talk about that
I've
game.
never been to a game where one of the teams never has a chance of winning the. It was never interesting. It was never interesting, not for one freaking second. Sorry, I almost cursed on TV.
That was close.
I know. Anyway, keep going, Billy.
How about this? Texans Titans, close game, went to overtime. Not a good game.
Yeah. And who cares?
That
honestly.
was not a good game.
The Texans needed it, though.
Will
Yeah.
Levis, I don't know what happened there at the
Case
end.
Titans
Keenum.
eliminated.
I'm about to say Will Levis, Case Keenum. Oh,
What a matchup.
battle of Giants.
Backup quarterbacks. They're having a moment, man. They really are. Anyway.
Giants Saints.
They almost tied that game. You know where I was when I was watching that game? So like that's the part of the witching hour that it's like you can't move. And you had that game and you had Bears Browns that were both close.
Right.
And at that time, my wife was like, "Oh, I promised our daughter that we were going to make cookies today. Like, I'm going to go to the store and get cookies." And I was like, "Billy, you have an option here. Either you let her go to the store and get cookies, and it will take 2 hours to get ready and have everyone go get cookies, and you stay at home,
right.
but you maybe will have one of the two girls regardless, or you just go and you can get the cookies 150 times faster than this whole ordeal is going to take of the getting ready and all that stuff."
Mm-hmm.
So I made a decision, and I went and I bought the cookie mix.
Very good.
And then I said, you know what? We also need cold cuts. So I was watching that game on my phone at the deli.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly couldn't tell if the field goal went in to end the game because it's so little because it was on my phone.
Right.
That game so deserved to be a tie.
Mm-hmm.
If there was ever a game deserving of a tie, it was that one.
How about the cookies?
They made the cookies. They were fine.
Yeah. Cold cuts, what'd you get?
Just got some ham and some Munster.
Did you try the cold cuts before, like he hands you a slice?
You got to try the cold cut.
They
have
yeah,
to.
no,
You
they
have
always
You got to
ask
see
me
how thin it is.
if it's cut to the right. Yeah,
Right.
like if
Yeah.
it's thin enough or not. And then there was also a deal on some sort of like chorizo, like
I thought
ham
you went to make it
sticks.
quick. I mean,
And then there was also like a cheese that it was buy one get one like half off or something like that. And it's like
Right.
I don't need 2 of these blocks of cheese. Why would I buy that?
Okay.
So then I feel bad because they're really pushing it. And then I also wonder, like, because this is at a Publix, I wonder the person that's pushing this. They seem really invested in me getting this. Do they get some sort of something if I like, take advantage of this deal of the day? Like, do they get some? They don't get a commission. So why do they actually
they pushing
care?
products?
Yeah, if I care about it,
Maybe they really want you to enjoy it.
right.
it was fine.
So what time did you get home? Just in time for the Sunday night game?
No. I did it quick, and because I knew like I could miss a little bit of the start of the 4 o'clocks. It's not a big deal,
Right.
Yeah. So
It
I
never
watched.
is. It never
I
is.
watched. I watched the end of the game at the deli and in the car before I left.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the season ended today, let's do it.
Okay. Good. If the season ended today, do you want to go AFC or NFC?
Oh,
here?
I would love to go. I want to do the whole thing. So let's go AFC first.
All right. So the Ravens would have a bye.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then the 2-seed Dolphins would face the 7-seed Colts at home in Miami.
Okay, so you have Dolphins, Colts,
Yeah.
Minshew, and Tua. We're assuming everything stays the same, right? Which is a ridiculous assumption. Someone's going to get hurt.
No, the season ended today, so everyone is
The
the same
season
health.
ended today, so everyone's healthy.
Well,
Okay, got
but
it.
if the season ended today, is Tyreek going to play this game? You know what I mean? Because that's how if the season ended today works.
I don't think it would matter.
I would sit Tyreek even if he is available.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Take a week off.
Yeah, I have the Dolphins blowing the Colts out at home.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
think it'd
Okay.
be close at all. I think
Yeah.
Minshew would have a.
Give me
a
the
nightmare.
Dolphins and the over.
Yeah.
All right. If the season ended today, the Chiefs would be hosting the Bengals.
Oh, wow.
That's a good game.
So, yeah, but it's Jake Browning.
I know. That's why it's a good game. Because if it was just the Chiefs, I would
If it
have
was
watched.
Joe
Patrick
Burrow, I'd
Mahomes
put.
is watched.
Yeah, I'd put the house on this Bengals if it was Burrow.
Yeah, but you can't. He's not
I just
there.
said Patrick Mahomes is washed.
Terrible take.
Show me something. Show me something in this game.
Yeah, it's 2 rings.
What?
In this game, show me
not
something.
even 30.
In this fake playoff game against the Bengals?
Show me that you can keep up with Jake Browning.
But they don't have Chase Young.
Mm-hmm. 2 tutties, 2 interceptions for Mahomes. I would take the Chiefs to win that game.
All right.
Close game.
Close
but the Chiefs
one.
will win
They
that
would
game.
be a
Close,
close one.
but the Chiefs are at home. I
Yeah.
think they edge.
27-24 Chiefs.
As
Yeah.
Mike Fuentes eloquently put it earlier, Travis Kelce has that arm thing.
He does. Yeah.
All
Give
right.
me the Bengals in an upset.
Wow.
Wow,
See?
Jake Browning.
Jake
See?
Browning, huh?
I don't think that's that crazy.
Billy loves Jake Browning. He is now invested in Jake Browning going a long way in the playoffs.
Mike
because
had a
Peter
good
King
Mike had a
was
good
not happy with
destination
it.
for Jake Browning.
Where? Don't say the Jets.
Atlanta Falcons.
Maybe. Yeah. He was cut by the Vikings, right? He was.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he made a
was,
comment
and
about
he,
him.
Yeah, he was not
Revenge
he's-
game.
mhm,
Yeah.
It was a revenge game.
It was. Okay.
Is
Next.
Sam Howell was benched yesterday?
4.
He was Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett had more yards than him.
What a downgrade.
No, it wasn't. He had a better game than him.
Wait a second. He's still in the
Jacoby
league?
Brissett dropped back and threw it long to Terry McLaurin, who they remembered could catch the ball.
Dude, in the last 10 minutes of the game, it seemed like they forgot he was on their team. And he put up all of their numbers in the last 2 drives of the game. Which is fine because I had
Not
him
that
in
I went
one-
against him in fantasy.
I had him in one of my fantasy leagues. In my other fantasy league, I lost horribly. I lost to someone who had Herbert as their starting quarterback, and as you guys know, he did not play.
He did not play. Yeah.
Well, the reason that I lost.
It's so bad.
Why is it bad?
I mean, you lost to a guy who had no quarterback.
Well, the thing is, James Cook had like 40 points for them.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a ridiculous week.
He
Anyways.
bailed them out. Okay.
Yeah. So if the season ended today,
Yes. Yeah.
the Jaguars would be hosting the Browns.
Wow,
me
that's
the
a
Browns.
good game.
I'm with you.
I
Give me
would
the Browns.
I would take the Browns as well. Yeah.
Mikey?
He's going to take the Jags.
Jaguars.
Yeah.
Jaguars.
He's going to take the Jags.
If Trevor Lawrence was playing in New York, we'd be murdering him. He's so bad.
Wow.
Trevor Lawrence was not the problem yesterday.
Just dropping the ball.
That wasn't good. That wasn't good.
Because he fumbled one?
No,
Oh,
he fumbled.
He fumbled by himself.
A ghost touched that ball.
Yes.
Right. I mean, he's
Yes.
good. He's not great.
It was raining, but
Yes.
still.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets would, I don't know. What do you think the Jets would be?
I love this segment. What would the Jets be with this guy?
What would
I
the Jets
mean,
be?
they're
What would they be
5-9.
with
4
Jay
wins
Browning?
better. 4 wins better.
You think they'd be 9-5?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. If the season ended today,
What do you think the Jets would be with Tommy DeVito?
Wow.
6-8.
Yeah, I'd give him. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
2 more wins.
I'll give you
Extra
that.
win.
Yeah.
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 Something like that.
If the season ended today,
I love this.
the 49ers
This is the
would
best
have
segment
a
we ever
bye.
had.
Oh, we're on to the NFC, huh?
The NFC, yeah.
Okay.
And the Eagles would be hosting the Rams.
Oof. Wow.
Big one tonight, by the way. Monday Night Football.
Before we get to the playoffs, yes.
Big one tonight.
Right.
Yeah, I guess the season ended today, but in the
Well, the
reality,
season ends tonight, right?
In
a couple
reality.
hours, right?
yeah, in reality,
No,
BBBBBB is very complicated this week.
No
'cause
Darius Slay.
It's the rare. You don't know who's going to be the quarterback for either team headed into the game at time of recording.
I would take the Eagles to win that game.
Okay,
I don't know.
Eagles moving on.
That's tough.
I know it is.
Rams have looked good.
They
Rams
look very
are
bad.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking the Eagles.
Okay,
All right.
Would you take Mikey?
I'm going to take the Eagles, but I don't like it.
Okay. Well, okay.
Take the Rams in an upset.
All right. Lions. Who are they playing?
Kyron Williams has also been great, by the way. Before we move on,
He's
past
been
the
really
Rams.
good, yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's been really good. Look at you.
Nitro has to be livid with himself for taking Achan instead of Kyron Williams, which
He
he
has
said
to
was
be.
his decision that he had to make.
He has to
Anyway,
be. You're right.
if the season ended
Sure,
today,
Nitro's sleepless nights.
if the
thinking about it.
season ended today, the Lions would be hosting the Vikings.
Lions and Vikings. Who was the Vikings quarterback over the weekend?
Give me a second.
Mullins.
Mullins, yeah, Nick Mullins.
Jesus.
They face each other twice in the next 3 weeks, and then they also have to do the
Yeah, but this is
playoff game?
the season
Wow.
has ended already, Mike.
Yeah, the
Oh,
season's
so they didn't
over.
even get to play
Right.
each other.
They don't play.
No, they didn't.
The Vikings are in.
Nick Mullins had 300 yards.
Yeah, but
he did
bad
two
intercept-
interceptions.
right.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna say it's Lions in a close one because Jared Goff reverted. He's not-
Jared Goff, man.
The Vikings-
Five
Jared Goff is
touchdowns.
different.
I know.
Vikings defense is good though.
Yeah, I would take the Lions in that game. I would.
Yeah.
Lions in a close
Home
one.
Jared Goff.
Do you? The Vikings went, or the Lions went from a team that was like a darling that everyone loved to like, I don't think we can trust this team.
You can't.
I mean, they're 10-4, just a
Josh.
game out.
They're 10-4, but they're the worst of the 10-4s.
They're the 3 seed. What am I talking about? They're a game out of nothing. I mean, they made the playoffs. They won the division. Good year
Not
for the
yet.
Lions.
They haven't yet.
Well, they have. The season
haven't
ended
clinched
today.
yet. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in. They're clinched. It's over.
We're in 2 different worlds right now.
It's a tricky game.
It's your segment.
Yeah, it's a tricky game.
There was one more game.
All right, so the final game, if the season ended today, the 7-7 Buccaneers would be hosting the 10-4 Cowboys.
Baker Mayfield.
I was just saying a name.
Oh, they're hosting.
I'm
That's
taking
right.
the
Oh,
Bucks.
I'm taking the Bucks.
I'm
Yeah,
taking the Bucks.
Cowboys stink on the
I'm
road.
taking the Bucks.
That's- went over that.
That's the game I've been
Yeah.
waiting for. I'm taking the Bucks.
Mike Evans, 150 and a tutty.
It's a good game.
Was it?
Only visiting quarterback to win in Lambeau. Baker Mayfield. Give it to me.
Who are you taking?
I'm just asking the question.
Oh, there we go.
Austin Ekeler next.
I really don't know. I have no comment on how I feel about flopping.
On flopping? All right, but just don't
give
no
it a thumbs
comment.
down.
Don't no comment us on the rest of the questions we're about to ask.
You've used your no comment for
You
the
used your no comment.
It was a trick. We got you to no comment on flopping.
Wow. Love it. Well, I hope you guys have been. Hope you guys have had a all right last week. appreciate you saving me of coming on and having to talk about all this stuff we're probably talking about now. But
Right.
yeah, where do you guys want to start? There's been a lot that's gone on these past 7 days.
Well, for the record, we'll remind the audience that you wanted to come on Friday after that loss, but we told you to take a bye week, right?
Yes, want is a strong word. I would have tolerated it.
He was willing to come on, and we said just take some days.
Yeah. So hey, the boys in the studio were looking out for me. So shout out to you guys for being great as always.
Austin, well, take us through the last few days. How have the last few days been for you?
Yeah, it's something that I've never actually had to deal with, in my sporting career. But we're experiencing what Coach Staley, I thought, put it really well, the ugly side of football. It's what it is. It's the ugly side. We didn't ever think it would ever come down to this, where our GM and our head coach were going to get fired. I guess that's probably pretty obvious, but it's kind of a death by 1,000 cuts, and eventually we got pushed over the edge. And Dean Spanos, who's the owner, and sitting in that chair, decided to make a decision and wanted to do it after we got beat on Thursday Night Football brutally. And so. How has it been? It's been, I've been talking to coaches, talking to our new coach, seeing like what's going on, what's the expectation. I'm feeling good about where we're at for just these last 3 games and what we have as far as the people in place to help us get through these and continue to compete at a high level. Because we still got to go out there and try to win every single game we can, and that's what we want to do as players. But yeah, so there's been some changes. We got acclimated to those changes here today on the day that we're filming this. And, like I said, I think we're in a solid spot looking at these last 3 games.
I hate this term, but the term is being tossed around a lot. You would know, obviously. You're on the team. You're in the game. Do you guys feel like you gave up on your head coach?
Ooh, no, not even no. It's you don't really give up. Like this is my perspective. Like there's no real, that's not even an option. It's not even a thing that's on the table, because there's so much more that goes into it than just playing for your head coach. He's a part of it. Yes, we're all playing for this together, but if we gave up on our head coach, you're giving up on yourself, you're giving up on your teammates, you're giving up on the organization, you're giving up on all the work that you as an individual put into this to get to this moment and try to get a good example of what you're trying to be on the field. So that's not an option, And, we 100% believed in Coach Staley. If he was still there today, we'd still believe in, we got to go out there and continue to work hard. Like, yeah, we haven't been winning games, but we still believe in each other as, hey, we're going to go out there and compete and play for each other. And so that was still strong. But then I think that, the business side actually just ended up catching up with the whole organization, and Dean made a decision to make a change before the season ended.
After it happens, just because of kind of the way the game played out on Thursday, where you guys fall down 42-0 at halftime, is there not a sense of like responsibility, but like if it was, 14-0 or 21-7, maybe this didn't happen?
You're saying if we lost, not in the way that we lost?
Yeah, like if the game didn't start out the way that it did, because then that leads to the narrative, he's lost the team. The Chargers have given up on Brandon Staley. What's going to happen the rest of the season? Because it wasn't, the first half just wasn't competitive for whatever reason.
Well, the reason was the damn turnovers, and we're not moving the ball on offense,
Without your starting quarterback, by the way.
Yeah, and without Keenan, and without, you can go on down the list, that was definitely our most beat up our team has been in this entire year. And then it was just the onslaught of just bad plays happening. Would it have been different? It's hard for me to tell. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I have no idea.
This season, and you have a big one this Saturday coming up where, while you guys are not technically eliminated from the playoffs yet, you're playing.
Billy needs you, Austin. That's where this is headed. Okay?
No, it's not. It's not headed there. No, I would love it if you could beat the Bills and keep them out of the playoffs. But like looking ahead, and I don't think that you've done this or you have time to do this, but this has implications for you as well, because they've removed your coach, they've removed your GM. This is the team that you signed with as an undrafted free agent, but you're headed into free agency, so you have decisions that have to be made too. So not that you're thinking it, but do you now sit back and kind of see how they handle this head coaching vacancy, determining your future?
There's a part of it, and because of that is Tom Telesco, who was our GM, who brought me in, right, as an undrafted free agent, and then also was part of the decision to sign me back for another 4 years. And there's the politics in that, where we've built a relationship. Like, he knows me as a player, and obviously I don't know what their intentions were past this year, but it definitely has an implication, because now I don't have as anchored of a relationship within the organization on the player personnel side. And maybe that works out. If Tom gets picked up somewhere else, maybe it can go somewhere else. And the same thing with the head coaching, it's with Brandon. And so I'm a free agent after this year. And so we'll see kind of what happens. There's a lot that has to play out, in kind of my story. And like you said, we have 3 more games here. And so there's still opportunity to go out there and continue to play. But yeah, it's a thing that, when this happens, it's going to be interesting for sure when the free agency hits.
Austin, do you have any sort of expectation as a team captain, a guy who's been there a long time, a guy who's done a lot for that organization on and off the field? Is there an expectation from a guy like you, like, hey, on the next coach, consult me. I should have a say in who it is you bring in here. I know my team better than you guys do.
I don't think I have the right to do that. I think that's more so
you should, though, man.
It's tough. I think just as a player in general, you should express kind of what you expect, especially if you're, in my shoes, where you've been around for, it'll be 8 years next year, where it's like, hey, this is where we've been through. This is what I like. This is what I don't. And then, right, it's going to be up to the digression, the head coach or whoever's in that position to implement that or listen or not. But definitely have to be vocal, because when in the NFL, right, there's great X's and O's, right? That's awesome. But to actually go out there and execute those, there's a lot of other stuff that has to happen, whether it's the camaraderie, whether it's, how locked in, how much we believe in the coaches, how much we believe in each other, the talent on the field. Like, there's so much that is going and executing those that isn't X's and O's, that it's so important. And those are the things that need to be addressed, and make sure that, hey, we're on with those and we're solid with them. And we have a path and a plan to continue to build that part of the team so that we can execute on the field.
When you hear about teams tanking for, a draft pick or whatever, the reality of it is that everybody on the team, it doesn't suit them to tank, because they're playing for their own livelihood. They're playing for their own contracts. They're playing for their own things. So when you fire your coach or your GM or whatever with 3 games left in the season, I imagine that it would be easy for you guys to, from an outsider's perspective, give up on the season, when the reality is, like, you are someone, for example, who's a free agent, and you had an injury, so your numbers are not what they were prior to this. You are 28 now, so you're looking to get a contract, presumably that'll, be one of your last contracts or one of your last big contracts, right? You cannot afford to just, not, financially, but you can't afford to just punt on the season. And there's a lot of guys in the same position that you're in. So in the days after this has happened, how much time have you guys allowed yourself to kind of realize and absorb what has happened, and we need to get right back into this because we have a game on Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been this time that we've had, because we played on Thursday night, where we've had a couple of days to kind of digest what's going on and kind of realize, okay, there has been a change. And then we've come back into the building sense and talked to Dean Spanos and talked to Giff, our new interim head coach, and he set the tone, right? This is what it's going to be. And so it's like, okay, we have the expectation that's there, but when it comes to tanking, like, if you're able, no one can afford to tank mentally, in my opinion. Maybe you can in your contract because you got guaranteed money next year, but if you are mentally trying to tank, I cannot stand you as a person. If you were the person that's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take it off, or I'm just going to sit out, or I'm going to milk my injury a little bit longer.
You're so not wired that way, man.
No, like there's not, like, mentally, to get to the point that we're at, this is just me speaking, to get to the point where I'm at, I've had to continue to build and build and build. And there's still opportunity to continue to do that. And if you're able and willing to just kind of like lay off the gas pedal for a little bit because you feel bad for yourself, then I definitely do not want to be on a team with that type of person. And I hope you never step foot back on my field when I'm on your team. So there's no option of tanking because of what's on the line for not only you as an individual, but all your teammates around you as well. We're still fighting for stuff out here. It might not be the playoff or the Super Bowl, but it's our own livelihood. It's our future in the NFL. It's our health for that game. If you're not playing hard, you're going to get hurt. That's just the way this thing works, because you're going to not be going and bring as much energy as the other people are. So yeah, the fact of the concept of tanking just eats at me. Like, I don't ever want to hear that. And if I even feel that at practice, it's like, you will be addressed immediately.
As a player, your career is only so long, right? So even thinking selfishly, this coaching change isn't something that you can take lightly, because you only have, I mean, we've gotten to know you somewhat. I don't view you as someone that's going to be playing until he's 40 years old, right? So
Hell no.
You need to go into the right position with the right coaching staff and the right front office to maximize your career. So this, almost in a strange way, for you personally, could be beneficial, because you're headed into free agency, but you also are, for the first time, in charge of who you want to play for and what environment you want to be in to maximize the little time that you have left.
Absolutely. And I don't think the situation is beneficial from like the coaching standpoint and all of that. It's more so just going into free agency is beneficial for a player.
Well, and I mean more so, you don't have question marks anymore with what's going on with the Chargers. If you come back and there's still this cloud over, are we going to make a change? Are we not going to make a change? You'd have to make a decision without knowing.
Right. Yeah. And in the situation now, I know I'm going to be hitting the market. Right? I'm going to have to find out, there's going to be a whole new GM here. There's going to be a whole new, offense or head coach here. And I don't know what happens with the coordinators or all that, but there's going to be a reset here. So maybe this is a team, but now this team is no different than any other team out there during free agency, if that makes sense. Because all of the new things, like, sure, I know some guys on the team, but as far as like the actual structure of the coaching staff, it basically is like a new reset team. So who knows where I end up, next year. That's something that will play itself out here in the next, few months.
Mikey, two things are happening here. The first question from Billy was he really needs Austin to beat the Bills. The second one was a pitch to, hey, Miami.
No, these are not.
Miami.
No.
Look what Mostert's
Billy,
doing
I'm
at
reading
31 years
between the
old.
lines.
I find Austin to be in an interesting spot, and he can kind of choose it. If because of, payroll parameters, whatever, you can choose, do I want to be part of a rebuild, or do I want to hop aboard on a team that's 7 years in, that's about to break free and go on a deep run, or whatever it may be?
So there's a really interesting thing that's about to happen this offseason, because there's a ton of running backs, my group, that is going to be hitting free agency. And I think this actually, in my theory, this is a reason why some of the franchising was happening, because it's like me, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, and so and the list goes on of people that are about to hit free agency. Which same with the guys that just got franchised: Josh Jacobs, Saquon, and Derrick Henry. He didn't get a franchise, but he's about to be free too. Tony Pollard. There's about to be that my group and the group right behind me, that those years we're about to just flood the market. And so it's gonna be interesting how it plays out, because there's gonna be backs that you can pick up, guys that have been proven for a while. Yeah, we're getting older compared to the younger backs, but hey, are we still able to play? That's for these people to decide if they want to bring our type of play style into their organization. So I'm not trying to wish my life away, but I am excited to see how all of this plays out, when it gets into free agency, because it's going to be interesting what happens with the RB market.
Mikey A wants to try to cheer you up. We'll find out how in a second. I want to ask you.
I don't know how.
Well, have you ever dreamed of playing for Bill Belichick? Just in your dreams? I'm just wondering.
Oh, you guys are still on this.
No, he is. He is, Austin.
I mean, it might get him to stick around. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Hey, look. If I have a place where I'm playing next year,
yes,
it's probably because I've made a decision, hey, I want to go play for this organization. I'm at that point. And so it's I get to pick and choose, like Billy was saying, which is great. Obviously, it has to be a two-way partnership. But I'm not going to go to a place where I know I'm not going to be happy playing. So I don't know. I've never met Bill or anything like that, but I'm not scared to be coached. I'm not scared to have a really disciplined organization. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a tight ship, and everything's in line. Everything's moving forward to try to win games. That's all I care about.
Yeah, some advice: don't go to the Jets. I mean, I'd love to have you, but things don't work out there. Okay, they just don't. Listen, I'm fascinated by this, the dynamics of an organization. That's why I'm asking and pressing, and I don't like doing this. None of us do. We'd rather just laugh and have fun with you, but. This is big news for you.
Yeah.
How does it work? So with your coach, did he talk to you? Did he call you? Did he talk to you as a team? Did he talk to you as an individual? As he's leaving, how does that work for a coach talking to the players?
Yeah, I think it's more of a personal thing, and obviously things are still kind of fresh, and so I don't think it's something that happens immediately. But being a captain on the team, we'll definitely get in contact with each other, and even with Tom too, because Tom is one of the reasons why I'm even here and even having this conversation right now. He's one of the early guys that gave me the green light and believed in me to come on and try out for the team, because he's the one setting that final 90 man. So these guys have been a big impact in my life, and so there would definitely be a conversation with both these guys, just because they have been such pivotal people in my life. In the back half of my career with Brandon, so far, and then also my entire career with Tom. So it's going to be different for different guys because they have different relationships with these guys. So that's probably how it'll go out. Is
Staley someone? Sorry about that, Austin. Is Staley someone that will always be in your life? Were you guys
Absolutely.
that close? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, the thing, even if we weren't close, like we're doing such like massive things in our life. Like for me, like you said, I'm not gonna be playing until I'm 40. And so like the NFL in general is going to be such a story in my life that everyone that's been involved is going to have their part in it. Like when I retell it, they'll have the moment where it was Anthony Lynn. Now it's Brandon Staley. And so that's when I got my second contract, right? It's part of that story. So regardless if it was good, bad, ugly, it was everything, right? We had great runs, we had bad years. And so it is all of it, which is, I think, even better because in the long term anyway, not right now, it sucks right now, but in the long term, it adds just grit to the story. And, I was talking to actually Tom, and I was like, we're going through some cloudy times right now. And, I had to get through cloudy times to get to where I am right now. And so now we're finding it again. And so guess what? I can't wait to continue to push through this stuff. There's all the media about, Austin's washed and all this stuff. And hey, the Chargers suck. And they got to fire the coach. And it's just like all cloudiness. But it's just a time where I'm getting tested as a man mentally, right? My poise, right? My mental strength. Like, how can I continue to push forward and try to get on the other side of that? And it presents an opportunity that's not always, joyful, but it's for me something that's like a challenge, and I freaking love challenges. I'm gonna freaking kick his ass and continue to push forward, man. And so I'm excited. Not for the season. The season has sucked, and it's been terrible, and it's definitely tested me. Like when you're going through this, it is one of the worst things because it makes you think like I'm second guessing myself. I'm having conversation with my running back coach. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm trying to figure this out. We're all trying to figure it out. We got the media on our ass where it's like, all the sports bettors are, just letting you have it. And it's just like, what the heck is happening? And so it's not desirable, and the media makes it even worse. But it's part of sports. And so, like I said, it's a little cloudy, but I'm looking forward to the future. Absolutely.
I don't know if you caught what Jameis Winston did yesterday, Austin, but if you're in need of motivation or in need of motivating others on your team, Jameis Winston was walking around with a briefcase.
He's laughing.
A mysterious briefcase. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, he was walking around with a mysterious briefcase. No one knew what was in it. He gave this impassioned speech about whatever, opened the briefcase. It was empty. And then he said, that's what's standing in the way of us in greatness. Nothing. So maybe you want to kind of throw that one in there to the rotation.
I like it. It depends on how it was set up. Like if he was like making this big old like anticipation, like what's in this briefcase is what's, the difference. And he's like setting it up the whole speech. And then at the end, he's like, all right, this is what it is. And he opens it up and it's nothing. It's like nothing. Like, I think that could have been epic. But
at the same time, who has assigned Jameis Winston for being the one to motivate people? And it seems like
Jameis Winston has.
Yeah, it's
Winston.
Like he's decided he has gone and printed his own like C patch that he puts like on his own shirts and jackets.
Come on.
Yeah, yes, he's crazy.
Look, hey, you are who you are. You're like, look at what he's been doing. Everyone remembers like the eating the dub thing. Back in the day. So hey,
you didn't think he could get crazier, did you?
he's on the same line right there. So hey, he hasn't changed. I'm glad to see he hasn't changed.
All right, 2 quick ones. We'll get you out of here. We appreciate the time. It seems like the GM being fired hurts you more than Staley. Not that Staley doesn't hurt, because the GM was the guy who believed in an undrafted rookie, right? Is that fair to say?
What hurts me most is that we sucked this year. That's what hurts me most, regardless of they getting fired or not. That had no effect. Obviously, it had effect on their job. That's why they got fired. If we would have had a great season, then yeah. So Yeah, both of those, I don't think it really makes a difference. It was, do you play well or did you not? And, I did not play well this season. If you can look at the numbers, all that stuff. So that's what it's affected me the most.
You're wearing some of this, man. Like you're putting some of it on you, man.
You have to, right. Because you are the one that puts you as an individual, me, myself, I am the one putting the product on the field. I am a leader in this organization. And so, yeah, it's a collective, but it comes to a point where it's a bunch of collective efforts all together that go and create the product. And so if something is slipping or something is subpar, if it's not addressed, if it's not brought up to speed, then that's a failure on the entire organization, which includes me as an individual.
Billy, I'm going to ask it. I'm not certain what sort of reaction we're going to get from Austin Ekeler here, but next week, you and Brandon Staley together. What do you think?
Oh, jeez.
What are you talking about?
I'm going to have them on with you. I mean,
that
line?
You
just found it. Yeah, stop.
Flop,
remember you said stop you?
Flop, flop, flop.
He flopped. He's a flopper.
Austin, I know something that will cheer you up on the way out here.
Wait, you didn't answer my question.
You did though. He did though.
He
flopped by that one.
I thought of something that could cheer you up. It has been a difficult season. Obviously, it's been a difficult week, but on the bright side, last game of the season, playing the Chiefs, one more chance to see Taylor.
He flopped again. He flopped.
Wow.
Wait, Billy, you want the ultimate? Go ahead.
That was great.
That.
Thanks, Billy.
I'm just thinking about you, man.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but now that, now, wow.
It almost makes up for the rough season, huh? Getting to see Taylor twice.
I would say not even close, but
keep your head down.
Nice try.
Keep your head down. All right, I want to see if I can get one more flop out of him. If Austin Ekeler was running the Chargers, would he have fired the head coach?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow. Wow.
As a player, no, because like we're also locked in and tied, right? Like, and it just makes now we got to figure out who's what, and now the whole culture's changed, and so yeah, it's tough. That's why it doesn't happen often. Even on teams that are bad, it doesn't happen often. There's teams that have lost less games than us and still have their head coach, Look, it's not my decision. Obviously, that's Dean's decision. And there's 3 games left. It's not looking great for us for the playoffs. It's like a 0.07% chance. And so they made a change. And guess what? We'll live with it and we'll continue to play as hard as we can. For me, anyway, it changes nothing with my preparation, all that. So go out there and try to give everything I can to play out one game at a time.
All right. I hate myself for asking that last question. I'm sorry, Austin. Hopefully you'll forgive me.
It's been brutal today, guys. Like usually,
I know. I'm sorry. Listen, it's not
on
fun
the line.
for us
We
either.
definitely crossed the line today, man.
Listen, you know us. You know this is not fun for us. Like we don't ask probing.
It is fun for you, damn it. You love doing
No,
it.
it's not. It's fun for LeBatard, not me.
Yeah.
You know me, man. I don't want to stick on one topic.
But it is a big thing that's happening, right? It's obviously huge news for our organization. So, I'm prepared to talk about it, absolutely. But yeah, it's tough. It really is tough. At the end of the day, you were talking about people's families, and we're talking about, it's not just their family, it's us too. Like, I'm a free agent now. It's like, this is affecting my future too. So you never celebrate or even, really look like there's like so many like fans like, yeah. And I was like, that's someone's family, man. Like it's tough. And I'm just like, as a player, we have to make sure we stay together and we stay, connected and go out there. And like I said, continue to play for one another. And, if Brandon was still here, absolutely, we'd be doing the same thing. Cause there's a lot of, back to what Kobe said, there's a lot of grass and there's a lot of flies and all that. Remember I talked about that. You got to stay locked in on the gazelle.
All right, man. We're sorry. For the probing questions, I crossed the line twice. Billy wants you to beat the Bills. He wants you to come to Miami, but we apologize. We love you, dude. Anything you want to promote on the way out here?
No, I'm good, you guys. I appreciate you guys as always. But today was Taylor was a little edgy today. So we'll come back. Hey, hopefully we can give you some good stuff to talk about next week. And we'll try
all I want to talk about next week is Easton Stick. Can we do that? That's it. That's all I want. I like that guy.
You still also Stugotz have been promising him a best man speech for about 3 months now that you haven't done. So
Next
maybe
week
for
is
the
our
holidays.
week.
Yeah.
It's next week. Next week.
Yeah,
Yep,
a lot
next
of that
week.
is dated
Next,
now.
yes,
Always next week.
Next week, let's get back to shenanigans, okay?
It's gonna end
Merry
up,
Christmas, Austin.
it's gonna end up being at the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna be there sitting on your show, and then be like, all right, so where's the speech?
Austin, thanks so much. We appreciate it. We know it's a difficult time, but thank you for sitting in here and taking all these ridiculous questions about one topic.
For sure. Appreciate you, boys. You guys have a good one.
Thanks, Austin.
Okay, see you too, Austin.
And we're back.
There it is.
I didn't do it before, and I know that you wanted it, so
I miss
I
it.
missed it.
Let's start with Fuentes' top 5. You have your big board bets coming up. I have a top 5, but let's get to Mike Fuentes told me his top 5 before we started today,
Really?
and it made me laugh. Well, he told me the subject, and the subject actually made me laugh.
Yeah.
So, what is your
Actually.
top 5? Yes.
It's the top 5 things I've seen enough of.
Oh,
I'm done with them. All right. So no, I actually have a late submission OLI.
Okay.
And the late submission
Really?
OLI, is backup quarterbacks.
Okay. You're tired of seeing backup quarterbacks.
Well, nobody ever wants to see them.
Right.
Then a bunch show up, and then all these stupid storylines.
Yeah.
You know, Josh Dobbs, he's an astronaut. Tommy DeVito's Italian. Jake Browning, he's Jake Browning. And Joe Flacco, he's back. You know?
I think Jake Browning won 3 national championships in a smaller division, I believe.
No, then he go to Washington State or something?
I don't
I
know.
think he went to Washington State.
Maybe he must have transferred.
I think you're thinking about DeVito.
no, DeVito went to NC State and then went to Syracuse and then did a year at NC
Syracuse.
State. Yeah.
Well, either way, look at that. We got the storylines all mixed up.
Well, because here's the problem, right? Is that there's too many of these. We've seen too many of them. There's too many stories. We can't
Thank
keep
you.
them straight.
yeah,
Right.
there's
That's
just too
the
many.
problem.
Is that your excuse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think Jake Browning won anything. Ever.
You know, what are you gonna do?
Stu, we've had 2 decades of backup quarterbacks.
Right. Yes, we have. Even our starters are backups.
Number
Anyway.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
I said this in the second segment. He's bad.
Okay.
If he was in New York, he'd be getting throttled. He
Right.
would not be able to perform like that in New York and get away with it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3, the Atlanta Falcons in general. A tough team to watch.
Yeah, they
I had a little bit of hope last week. Desmond Ridder was dealing. Drake London looked like a player. Jonnu Smith, though, shining. Calls up.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all looking for the same thing.
Every week that I don't have him, he does great, and every week that I do have him, he does not.
Right. Carson Wentz went there. I mean,
No, it wasn't Carson Wentz. Don't worry about this. Look, guys, I
We're
was
so
wrong.
bogged down.
I was wrong. I apologize. I was wrong.
I am so bogged down right now. All right. Anyway, go
All
ahead.
right. This one,
Easton Stick.
yeah.
Oh, I think it was
It
Easton
is. It
Stick.
was. It was Easton
He
Stick.
sounds like a
Yes,
guy.
Easton
It was.
Stick.
He
That's
sounds
what
like
it
a guy who won 3 FCS national
It
championships.
was.
Yep.
It was
Also,
Easton Stick.
his
Austin's
name-
quarterback.
Yeah, his name is a baseball bat.
Yes. He should be a
I was-
baseball player.
I was actually wrong. He's a 4-time FCS champion.
Wow.
Where'd he go?
Easton Stick.
Dynasty.
South Dakota State, right?
Yeah. North Dakota State.
North Dakota
Yeah,
State.
one of the Dakotas. It's always one of the Dakotas.
4-time
Yep.
national championship.
Go ahead.
It's a
Fuentes.
rivalry.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Yeah.
New York Jets. Okay, look.
You're on the wrong podcast.
They're out of the playoffs. Rodgers isn't coming back.
Right.
Every quarterback they have stinks. The defense got exposed.
Right.
It's the Sopranos. It's over. Find a new show.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
done. We're
Yeah.
done here.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 1,
Yes.
Tommy DeVito's agent. The guy's walking around with his green jacket yesterday on the sidelines.
Yeah. Hall of Fame jacket.
Exactly. Listen,
Yeah.
there's one green jacket that matters.
Right.
Give it out at Augusta.
Whoa,
You're
be
right.
very careful with that.
Yeah. I mean, the Italian Hall of Fame.
Yeah, be
Philly's
very-
concerned about you.
That's
be
great.
very careful.
That's
Toast
great.
to the town last week, and this week he's a joke.
Exactly.
He's not a joke.
Did you see what the
100%.
Saints
I'm
were
not
doing?
saying he's a joke. Fuentes is saying
You
he's a
just said
joke.
it.
Well, he leaned into the joke. But did you see what they did every time they would sack DeVito yesterday?
No.
The
Saints would give him
yeah.
the
they did.
they'd give him the hand. Yep. They were right
Man,
back to him.
he was the victim of a late hit.
Yeah,
Well,
he got
not
knocked
late
out
hit.
for
It
a
was
couple plays, right?
Dirty hit. Yeah. Well, they sat him up until it was like 4 plays before the half, and then he ended up coming back out.
That's what happens, though. I
Scary
mean,
moment. Yeah.
but you have a couple of good games, and the agents, become a star, and then all of a sudden the Saints want to beat the hell out of you. I mean, and they did. All right, top 5 quarterbacks who weren't the starting quarterbacks for their team when the season started. How about that? Ready?
Okay, quickly.
Number 5, Case Keenum. Because he won yesterday. Number 4, Aiden O'Connell.
Big Aiden O'Connell game.
Big game. Number 3, Jake Browning. 3. These are quarterbacks who were not the starting
two better than
quarterbacks
that.
when the season started.
Who are the
2 better
two
than
that are
that.
better?
Number 2, Joe Flacco. And number 1, he's been great. You got to give him credit. Gardner Minshew.
I said it the first time Richardson got hurt. They're better with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
I forgot that he wasn't the starter. That's how long ago that happened.
Yes, Richardson. Remember, he was your top
used to
rookie
play
quarterback.
Richardson, Young, or
That game ended
Richardson,
so
Young, or
quick.
Shroud.
Listen,
Yeah.
Bryce Young has a chance to get right back in this thing.
Big win on the weekend. Let me tell you.
A couple people not participating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's get to Billy's big board bets. Mikey did it last week. Billy was out. Mikey went 1-2.
No, I did it last week. I went 2-1.
No, we both did it.
We both did it last
Okay, you
week.
both did it. I'm sorry.
If you took all of our picks, you went 3-3. 500.
Okay, great.
Anyways, let's get started.
You
Let's
lost
do
a
this real
big,
quick.
but
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, so these are bets that, maybe I would make if I was living in a state where I could, bet with DraftKings Sportsbook.
We get it. Yep.
Anyways, here's the first one. A.J. Brown, under 6.5 receptions today.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
At present time, we don't know who's going to be quarterback for either team. So
Okay.
that seems like a recipe for let's go under on receptions. here.
That has been the case the entire season. Fans are going to games all across America wondering who's going to play quarterback for their team.
Yeah.
Ticket prices stay the same, though.
It's unbelievable, man.
Unless you're in Carolina.
Unless you're in
Unless you're in
Carolina.
Carolina.
How much was it? $8?
45 cents.
45 cents.
I got to tell you, you overpaid if you paid 45 cents.
Especially with that
Probably
weather.
Sit
paid
in the rain.
$20 in fees.
Yeah, put it on the poll. Is 45 cents too much for a Carolina Panther ticket? Thank you.
All right, next one. DK Metcalf, anytime touchdown.
Okay, DJ May. It seems like Billy likes the Seahawks tonight, down on the Eagles.
Here's the thing about the DK Metcalf anytime touchdown.
What
Mike
is the
Fuentes
thing?
has a parlay in which he needs DK Metcalf to score a touchdown today. Also, our friend Andy Slater
Yes.
on Monday had a parlay with a sports book that generated him, I think, like $26,000. It was like a
Wow.
six. It was like a six. Well, hold on to your hat.
Okay, hold on.
He has an anytime touchdown parlay here, and all he needs is a DK Metcalf touchdown, and he will win $59,000. So Andy Slater could have won $90,000 this week in parlays. He's one touchdown away from that, and it's DK Metcalf.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm rooting against DK Metcalf.
Really?
I don't know why. I don't like when other people win money.
That's not nice.
I know, it's so bad. Scoop Slater, huh?
All right. And my final BBBBBB of the week.
Yeah.
I'm taking the under today. Under 45 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Those are Billy's big board bets. You want to say goodbye to the audience that you love so much? You won't speak to them again till Friday.
Bye.